What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Gundam Card Game video. Today I have a deck profile, one that I've actually been waiting to showcase for you guys, something that I have been having some fun on, some local gameplay, giving myself a little break on the MF deck. For a couple weeks I was able to play test another deck that I thought was really fun, and as you can tell by the title and everything, this is a blue-white Epyon build. Really fun build. If you saw on the channel before, you saw that I did kind of some videos on this already, play testing and deck theory crafting, but I've actually been able to actually play test it, and it's actually pretty fun, and I think something that I think people can pick up and play it. I decided to want to do this because I like Epyon a lot, and give myself, like I said, a little break on the MF deck. I will be doing a deck profile for the MF deck. There's just a lot going on with the MF deck because there's so many tech cards you can do: Dragon, Bolt, Justice, Unicorn, G-Fred. There's so many options you can do if you wanted to do something like that at all. Super mode, how? It's just a lot of things going on when it comes to it, and I will do a deck profile for the MF deck, and it'll be more of a theory crafting, as you know, maybe this is more your playstyle, or maybe this is your playstyle, because there's so many times where I played all different variations and I've had so much fun playing them. But going back to this video specifically, this is a blue-white Epyon deck. So let's go ahead and showcase everything that I have in the deck, and then let me go over some combos and things that can be very, very helpful when playing with this deck. So first thing first, we are running the 2-1 Leo 2-2. It is a G team, very, very important because it applies to your some of your other combos you need to have a G team out on play. So this is that facilitator for that early on when you need to. Really great 2-1. That's all pretty much we're going to say about that. It's just a G team 2-1. Next, you have your Zex Leo. Something I've been trying in the deck is a way to rest my opponent. Unit 3 HP or less, rest it. Go ahead and swing. What's good about this is you can use this to, rest, the Rick Diaz if you needed to get over something. You can do a lot of things to get this lower and then rest, and there's a couple ways. You're going to see another pilot in here. Obviously he's white, so you're going to see the other white armor row pretty much to go ahead and rest. So you can double rest if you needed to. I found it very, very good. If you need to, it is Oz trait linked, so you can put the blue Zex onto here and go ahead and link and get the draw if you needed to. So that is on there just to be able to rest some of my opponent's blockers. All right, now the next thing I'm going to show you guys is Gundam Heavy Arms Customs. It is a 3-3 3-2 level. With this, as long as you have another G team on the field, what you can actually do is -1 AP on your opponent's side, and again, that's once per turn. So again, what's really nice is you drop this turn 1, turn 2 technically, turn 3 you drop this can then swing, and if they had a lift riff up, they probably wouldn't block it because you're not going to be able to get rid of it, but maybe they will block it potentially. So then that will give you value if you needed to with that. If you do Rick Diaz, I mean, again, one less thing, it will kill it. So that's something to keep in mind. If you are going down that path, you might want to wait for another swing or two before you go ahead and start swinging. But the -1 AP has been really, really solid with some other cards in here. And if you can get the next card combo right on the field, it can be really, really annoying, which is 4 Sandrocks. 4 Sandrocks here, really good, solid card. These two in the field are really, really good. With Sandrock, it is a 4-3-3-4, which you can put Quattro if you want to put on there. But on attack, you don't need the link to do this. On attack, when you have another G team out, you can -2 AP on a target, which is really, really nice. Like I said, you want to make sure you have another G team. So if you didn't get Heavy Arms and you have your Leo out, that also plays a factor to making sure you have your G team out there. But having these two out on the field, pretty much -3 AP, you take no damage pretty much. -1 AP on this, -2 on the swing, 3 AP not taking any damage. Can be really, really solid. Can be really annoying to deal with as well. And I definitely played against it, especially the wing matchup when they were doing the white-green version and they're being more aggressive. With these cards, I noticed this combo and I liked it a lot, and I wanted to bring it over into the blue-white side as well. Next, we are using something that I don't think a lot of people like, but I personally, as I've been playtesting it, I don't mind it. It's actually really solid. It is Tallgeese 3 from GD05. It is a 4/4 stat line that can link with Zex if you are going second, which preferably I would like to go second. If you are going second, this doesn't kill your, you can still put a pilot on. It doesn't kill your EX resource. You can keep pushing further for the higher levels. What this does pretty much is once per turn, when this destroys an opponent by battle, you can restand one of your G team or preventers back that was linked, that they are linked, put them back into the active position. So you can retap your Sandrock. If you have this with the pilot with Zex on here, you can tap itself to put it back up there. And obviously wing Endless Waltz as well. I find this card very, very helpful. Like I said, it is a good stat line and the effect is pretty good. Both the main targets are itself. If I have the blue Zex, great, because then I can draw again potentially. I'll put it onto the Sandrock if I have the pilot obviously linked to it, and or I have the wing Endless Waltz with hero on there. Those are mostly my main targets when it comes to this. Very, very situational, but what is also very, very helpful is, I'll pull it out now, is if you do happen to have this on your turn, having this and then being able to draw, restanding itself, and then have that draw for next turn potentially if they don't ping you out, can be very, very helpful. Typically around turn 5 is when I want to make sure I have a lot of more cards to, you know, keep flooding my hand. As you see, I'm really kind of a little low to the ground, and then when you get to 5 is when you start to, again, you kind of want to make sure you get more cards in your hand so you can facilitate more combos down the line. So Tallgeese 3 helps me. I tried the other Tallgeeses. I just wasn't a huge fan. If there's more aggro, maybe the GD02 one maybe might come out. The starter deck one is not as great. It's kind of like needs some help when it comes to that. I'm just not a huge fan of that, but this one not that bad. You know, obviously with the release of the new starter deck, I can't wait to play Epyon in possibly a blue red Epyon deck, so that would be something I'm kind of excited about as well. Keeping with the turn 5, something that a lot of people don't see coming, and I actually I like it a lot, and I prefer to use this over like just putting a blocker or something like that, is the Death Scythe Hell that can rush. You don't need the pilot to link to rush. As long as your opponent has a rested unit, you can go ahead and swing at it for 5. Can take care of, you know, potentially Gundam. It can take care of AO. It can take care of a lot of units that a lot of people don't see with that swinging for 5. On top of that, very, very important, on top of that is Tallgeese. If you want the effect, not Tallgeese, like having the other one, sorry, my apologies, like having heavy arms or having Sandrock where you need to have another G team. This also facilitates another G team target as well. Just some things to keep in mind, how they have some synergy when it comes to it. But hitting things for 5 when they think they're safe is something I actually like a lot. Next is I'm running 4 of the Gundam Wing Zero Endless Waltz. Really, really solid. Before I started making videos for Gundam Card Game, back in GD02 format, I was actually playing Blue-White Epyon. That was my deck. But I was playing Blue-White Epyon with Unicorn. And what I liked about the Unicorn Destroy mode was that on turn 7, I can, you know, if I had the Benager, great, I can then rest a unit. But typically, I was using that as a way to prepare myself for Epyon. So that Epyon comes out, it can hit multiple targets. So this is doing pretty much that, but it has a little bit more synergy. It allows me to swing and rest my opponent's unit. Really good. What I will say is I tend to not drop this on turn 6 on curve. I drop it on turn 7 because I want one more resource that if I can use it, be great, like an unforeseen or something like that. If you do this on turn, you with the hero link, you pretty much use all your resources and you have no protection. As you see, I don't want blockers. So when it comes to this, I want to make sure I have some sort of trick, and it would be like an unforeseen to help keep my unit up alive when they don't see it coming. Especially if I decide to attack their unit, maybe I have 2 HP left, they decide to put a little weenie to attack me, I can unforeseen it and not worry about it dying and keep this unit alive. So really, really solid. I like this card a lot. rest your opponent. Then if there is a rested unit, you can then hit with suppression, forcing the suppression. Keep in mind, you don't always have suppression, so if they have no units that you can't have rested, then you just don't get suppression. So it's something to keep in mind. Is not always suppression when it comes to that, but overall really solid. Like I said, typically on turn 7 I'm dropping this with the link if I can, so that it can prepare my Epyon play. Next is I'm running the boss monster of the unit. I am running 3 of the Gundam Epyons. Epyon, I like the mobile suit. Really a suit that I've always loved when I was growing up. This has been my favorite versus the wing. I prefer the Epyon. I just thought the Epyon was just a really cool mech. Now when it comes to Epyon, if you don't remember what Epyon does during link, so as long as you're linked with Zex, if you destroy an opponent's monster during that battle, during that turn, you can then restand this unit. So it can be very helpful. It has to be battle damage. Again, keep that in mind. No like breach or something like that, or something to cause it with effect damage. It has to be battle damage. You can restand it, and it's only once per turn. So that is it when it comes to the units. This is my high end, mid to high end here specifically. Going into the pilots, something that I have a lot of fun. If you see my deck theory crafting, I didn't run this, but after seeing it play when they all, if you have the Sandrock and the heavy arms together, it's just overall just a really solid combo. Again, you can actually rest a level 5, which is honestly amazing. What happens a lot of times is I had to rest my opponent's NT1, or I rest my opponent's the silver bullet, because they're level 5. I can just rest it. Doesn't matter the HP, so you couldn't run armor if you wanted to, double armor rolls, but in reality, this has been helpful. Obviously it links with Sandrock. Amazing way to rush. Obviously -2 with this, -3, force your opponent to be sideways. You can double rest if you wanted to. You could put Quattro onto your Leo here, which then you can rest a 3 HP and then a level 5, so you can double rest. So there's some combos with some synergy when it comes to it. Just obviously it's not a link, but it is a great combo if you need to rest double units. Maybe you need to do that for Epyon, just to set up Epyon or something like that. Something to keep in mind when it comes to how that is situated. Next, I am running 3 heroes. Hero is pretty interesting. Whatever is paired to, pretty much, it doesn't matter what it's connected to, but whatever that unit hits a shield area card, you can -2 AP on to a unit that your opponent has. Obviously you can put that on any of these units and be totally fine, but obviously the main target is obviously Wing Gundam Endless Waltz. So something to keep in mind. You do -2 AP. Something else, as you start to realize you're starting to -AP, you start to see the theme of minusing, trying to keep your units alive and trade a lot more favorable than your opponent. So that's why I kind of put them in the deck, just so that I have that link to rush with this specific setup. Next is I am running 4 of the blue Zex. Zex, while it's linked, if it destroys your opponent monster, you can pretty much draw 1 card for every unit that you destroy. So if you put it with Epyon, you destroy 2 cards, you pretty much draw 2 times. You can put this, like I said, with Toggies to be able to get that drawing effect a little bit earlier if you needed to. You can link it with the 3-2 if you needed to as well, just to be able to, again, get that draw off as quick as possible. But you have multiple targets for Zex, so it doesn't hurt if you needed to put it on the odds or you need to put it on Toggies. You can still potentially get another one for your Epyon down the line as well. Last but not least, still is kind of a pilot, is the white Zex, the Wind Against Fires. This is a command pilot for Zex. It is a white version. One of the reasons why I wanted to try making a blue-white Epyon deck. This is very interesting. A lot of people don't see it coming. It is almost like an unforeseen incident. You can, if there's an enemy that your opponent is attacking, okay, if there's an enemy that is battling your unit, you can use this to pitch it just like you do unforeseen, but it has to be level 5 or higher to get the -3 AP. So as you see here, you have the Toggies, you have the Death Scythe, you have Wing, you also have Epyon as well. Something to keep in mind is not specifically restricted to G Team, so all of these are possible targets for an unforeseen, with again an option to link with Zex with Epyon if you needed to. Now, I do still like the idea of having unforeseen for these lower units that are really good combo pieces. Like again, heavy arms and Sandrock can put in a lot of work for you, but they do need some protection. So that is why I still technically, even though I could probably put another Zex in to be unforeseen pretty much, but I need protection for the lower end as well. So I'm doing unforeseen specifically for the lower end, and if I still survived all the way to the mid game, and now I'm doing later later level units, then I'm going to be going ahead to use Zex if I needed to. Or like I said, if I needed to pair and link it to the white Epyon, I can do that as well. It becomes a 7-8 instead of a instead of an 8-7. Something to keep in mind when it comes to how you can link this. I can see potentially down the line maybe doing one more Zex and keeping one unforeseen just in case for the lower end, just so that you have more targets for your Zex, for your Toggies and Epyon. But overall, this is how I have it set up, and I kind of like it that way. Something that I might be a little off is I run 3 Show Resolve because turn 4, turn 5, I want to be able to draw and have a lot of cards, so I have more combos to do what I want. I think early on, this combo right here really does put in work, and I know I'm saying that a lot of times, but this combo does put in a lot of work, and I do want to be able to have a way to give myself more cards. You can run Overflow if you wanted to run Overflow, but I hate pitching that card in this deck specifically because I want to have every single thing. I want to have the 2-1 so that I have a G team always out on the field. I want to have heavy arms because heavy arms is actually really solid with the minus AP. You know, you want to have all these cards, and pitching kind of don't like it, but if you needed to, you can if you wanted to. So I like to show Resolve, just me personally. I'm running 2 Orgamas and 2 white bases. Now you can run a new sign. I don't see a lot of people running it besides maybe some MF decks, but you can run a new sign so that you can potentially get more Argamas back. Maybe cut one of these Argamas so you can always recycle. But one of the things that keep going back and forth is white base. White base and Deval, both really solid units. Bases, one, the Deval, pretty much you can heal yourself. You just pay 2 resources to heal your units. That can be very helpful, especially with a lot of ping going around. They ping you, you can go ahead and, all right, Deval, you know, heal up a little bit. So that could be very helpful. But what I've noticed I also like is also white base. If I'm going against any like slower decks, this allows me to go ahead and use up the resources for dropping tokens, but not worrying about, you know, wasting my card advantage in my hand. So this I have liked specifically in this build, but I can see Deval being, you know, give or take what you want. Now, you may want to run Toggies if you wanted to give you back that Toggies token, but honestly, I don't really have an issue early on when it comes to that. And I think the 3-2 is overall solid. When it comes to what I'm going against my opponent, if I see that they're pretty much doing like a blocker build, I can go ahead and pitch this and be able to, not pitch this, but be able to deploy this and then go ahead and drop the tokens. Maybe the turn before I'll drop this, and then next turn, since they could drop a blocker, I'll go ahead and drop a token. And then now they're going to slow play because they're putting blockers. Now they're going to have to hurry up and quickly get my base out because I'm just going to spam tokens out in the field so that I can go ahead and do what I want to do and not worry about wasting my resources. So I just happen to find white base really solid as a good base to play with. But that's pretty much my blue-white Epyon. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.